could still see his face. And you could look at Brian and you knew that he wasn't from the Brady Bunch home. But he was my friend, you know.
We had this kind of sarcastic relationship going back and forth, and there's a lot of times we butted heads, but even though she may play it down and she says that she was mean to me, she was only mean to me as a sister would be.
In junior high, my mom would carry everybody that didn't have a ride to the basketball games, so Brian rode with us a lot. He was a real funny class clown. He always could get people to laugh. I mean, you could tell though that Brian was hiding, I guess, from something.
At first she had no idea about my home life. They had no idea about my home life.
He would talk about his mom's son and how she wasn't there, and he would talk about how he didn't have parents like we did, but he never talked about the abuse at all.
And she just stepped out and said, "Hey, do you want to go to church with me?" That one sentence that impacted my life, changed my life. It instantly let me know this person cared for me.
And from junior high school, he became Brian. I mean, he was always at the house, he was always there, he was always at church. They were just always together.
Her family is another miraculous story. They treated me like I was their own child.
His grandmother died, and he lived with his guardians, and so I think my parents were aware that that was just a place to stay. It wasn't a good situation. It wasn't a loving mother-father type home. I mean, nobody went out and said, "Hey, let's help a kid today." You know, I mean, it was just Brian happened into our lives, and my parents realized that this child needed love, and so they opened their home to him.
They cared about me and the grades I made. They bought me stuff. They gave me birthday parties.
He would spend Christmases with us. He would come over Thanksgiving. My cousins, my aunt, my uncle, they knew Brian. I mean, you know, my aunt would even sometimes during Christmas make sure he had a Christmas present, you know, because everybody's got to have something to open. He just became part of the family.
All these things that just, as a child, I missed growing up, I got with this family. The more I got comfortable with them, and the more I got comfortable with her, and over time I kind of opened up to them and to that family. And I think it was at a church camp up in Tennessee at Bryan College is where the floodgates opened, and I started kind of releasing what was going on to me. And they were there with me every step of the way.
For him to say that it meant so much for him, for me to invite him to church and to be nice to him, I feel almost guilty, I guess, because, you know, in a random act of kindness or me just being friendly meant the world to one person.
A person that's going through abuse at home, you just lifted them and give them just enough hope to carry them along and change their life.
And you don't realize that such a small thing means so much to somebody.
Something that she seems probably as minute or is just like nothing, it meant the world to me. And I think that's the power of one.
It's shocking, I guess. It's eye-opening that maybe just speaking to somebody or maybe just being nice can really change a person's life.
It was just people kind of living out their faith in this world in a young man's life that was full of pain and misery. That's what she did, and it was nothing special. It was just kind words.
You know, and then of course that small act of kindness grew into a great friendship, which means the world to me.
I owe a debt of gratitude, to God for bringing her in my life. I would say she's a pretty incredible person.
In my heart you'll always know there is a place only love can go. There is a place only you